Yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to Slope Club. We got a new video that we're trying out here. Okay, it's me, boy. I'm here with Tron and Josh, and we're gonna discuss and review some idol albums.
Ooh.
Yes. And then for this first episode, we're gonna take it back to some classics. We're gonna talk about AKB48's Kamikyokutachi.
This is before my time, so I'm gonna have to rely on the old heads over here to fill me in.
So
on
me and
details.
Boy are the historians a little bit, I guess, when it comes to this album.
Like, this album came out right before I really got into AKB.
Same.
And so,
Same, yeah.
A lot of the songs in this album kind of defined what AKB's music and sound is for me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This came out 10 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Jeez.
Didn't it come out in April? I have
April
the
7th.
dates.
2010.
Oh, my God. Just over
Yeah.
a year.
It's pretty
Should
crazy.
have recorded this last week, dude.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
For me, I thought this was really felt like classic AKB, as we mentioned earlier, really nostalgic, and I feel like after listening to this, I'm like, why don't more songs nowadays are more reliant on the guitar and have cool guitar solos?
That's a great point, because I think what I really enjoy in idol songs that I noticed, like after listening to the album and realizing, like, I would tell this to myself back when I was really into idols back like in 2010, 2011, is that anytime you add an electric guitar solo into an idol song, it just makes it like 10 times better. So like I think that's a theme a lot in a lot of the AKB songs in this particular album, that like, you know, like Iiwake Maybe, you know, just like that crazy guitar
yeah.
solo sounds great. You know, so like I think anytime you add those components into it, I think it makes it sound great. But yeah, I mean this album specifically, kind of alluding back to what Boy was saying, like this is before my like hype and like going down the rabbit hole of AKB when I became a real big fan. This is like still when this album came out, I was still really into Hello Project. I have a funny story actually, that I received this album. I actually purchased. I have a physical copy of this album.
Oh.
I was given as a gift.
Really?
From David Lau Jr. So DLJ. If you guys don't know me, before Slope Club, I was a co-founder of another idol website called New School Kaidan. We started doing idol podcasts just like the Slope podcast, you know, you guys see nowadays, but back on Justin.tv. So this is like back in 2009, 2010, we were doing like idol podcasts and that kind of stuff. So I actually got and received the album during AX when AKB came to LA for AX. So pretty sure that's when the timeline is. Yeah. So I was really big into Hello Project. I was kind of angsty teen. Didn't really care about AKB. They're the coolest thing on the block. I was still like holding on to Hello Project and Morning Musume and all that kind of stuff. But I was given the album from David, and it was like, hey, you should at least check this out. I'll buy you the album. Listen to AKB. Go ahead and just like check out the songs because I think you really like it. So, and that was like the only CD that I had in my car at the time. So I drove like a Saab 9.5 and like the radio was broken into it. So I only could have CDs and play music on my CDs or play music through my CD player. And that plus I think I had a Morning Musume single. I can't remember which one it was. And I had this album in my car playing like 24/7 every time I would drive from work and back. So very fond memories of this album. So it was really great to like listen back to it. Yeah.
It's similar to me because when I first went to a convention, and then actually Boy and Jimmy were there, I was like a couple weeks into this whole idol thing, and then I received a CD from them, and that CD was in my car, and then I played it on the CD, and that's the only reason why I got into like the actual songs of idols. Before it was more variety, but then because of that, I started listening to the songs and everything.
It was the panel that you went to, Josh? Is that the panel?
Well, I
It was
didn't
a
even know
panel.
anyone like, gave a full album.
Yeah,
we only
yeah.
had singles.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think David, Cheng was giving out and Serena were giving out like albums. So Jimmy was on that panel too, right? I don't remember.
Going back to the guitar stuff, like the only idol music I was really exposed to before AKB was Hello Project, like Tron, and so a lot of Hello Project music didn't focus too much on like the rock and the guitar feel. So it was a lot different from Hello Project, Morning Musume, which was very attractive to me. Like the AKB has a very like strong driving kind of like rock feel, and it's kind of like their sound to me. Even though in more recent years they've gone for a more kind of disco vibe, but yeah, that's what I like the most about this album and their like sound initially. It's funny because it's funny because after Kamikyokutachi, a lot of the AKB like main A-side tracks didn't really have this rock style, right? Like with all the guitars and stuff.
The A-sides, you mean?
More,
Yeah.
the A-sides.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Like Iiwake Maybe is like the only one that from like, because like before that you had some like guitar, like the songs that I really enjoy like are like Iiwake Maybe and Yoki Poster and Kimi no Kotoko ga Suki Dakara. Like those are just heavy on the electric guitar rock feel, and like those are just like my jams, and those are like the songs that would always be on repeat for me when I was listening to this album back in the day. And yeah, and I think now like moving forward, like after that, I didn't really get that vibe after this album came out. Like the singles, I think you're definitely right on that, boy.
And so this album, like many AKB albums, has a lot of previously released songs, right? Which are the singles. I think Kamikyokutachi only has
two originals.
It's two.
Yeah, the last two songs are original. So then most of it is just coupling songs and singles.
So would you say this laid down the foundation for what AKB turned into?
Yeah, I think it was just it was a big ramp up to like where they became super nationally known idols across Japan and started getting more fans in the Western, audience as well. I think this was like a big ramp up period. So yeah,
this is around the same time they came to LA for Anime Expo.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
I was barely getting into them, so.
And both of you went to that, right?
This helped a lot, yeah. And I saw them perform in LA. It was like, yeah, this is a lot of the songs that are on Kamikyokutachi. So.
I only saw the last 10 minutes of the performance. I think funny story again. So so like I don't want to sidetrack, but like at the same time the AKB concert was going on at AX, Mano Arena from Hello Project was also doing a solo performance. So again, big Hello Project fan. I went there, saw her live performance. She's showing her really crappy horror movie. I don't know, maybe it wasn't crappy. I don't think it was that great though. But saw her performance, got the handshake, and then dashed over to the convention center to see like the last 10 minutes of the AKB.
That's so funny because I did the opposite. I was also at the Mano Arena thing.
But you only saw the movie, right? You only got to the certain.
No, I didn't even get there. Like, this is before I met Tron, right?
Yes, yeah, we didn't know each other at the time. That's very true.
So, they did like this little red carpet thing. So she walks out. We get a few pictures of her, and then immediately go to AKB.
Oh yeah, I didn't go to that. When I got there, they were already showing the movie, so I missed the red carpet because I think we were busy doing other NSK stuff at the time. So. Yeah, because I think at the time was like handshakes and stuff like that going on for AKB. So we were doing that stuff or like some sort of things. But anyways, yeah, we can go back to the album.
Revisiting this like 10 years later.
Can I start with one song that I
these songs are
really
so good,
out?
man. All right,
Yeah,
go
yeah.
ahead, Josh.
For me, it's Iiwake Maybe. I feel like this is a real classic. And the reason why I mentioned this is because way before I even got into idols or even like anime, I would listen to like guitar covers, and there's this one guy who did a cover of Iiwake Maybe on guitar.
Oh, really?
And I was
Really?
like, that sounds pretty cool. So when I heard the song, I was like, it brings me all the way back, like probably to like that time era when the song came out, because that's when the cover came out.
Iiwake Maybe is my favorite AKB song.
It is my favorite AKB A-side single.
Iiwake Maybe was the result of the first Sosenkyo, and so it was kind of a big deal, right? Like, it's the first time they did anything like this. Maeda Atsuko is the center, and I feel like this is the sound that kind of, I would say, a lot of people kind of relate them to. It's very driving, a lot of guitar, rock. So like, I think a lot of the times when AKB releases a new song and it's like an Undergirls B-side, it would have the Iiwake Maybe style. that a lot of people are very familiar with.
I would always be more fans of the B sides versus like the single, the A sides, just because I just love that vibe and that music and just that upbeat energy.
There's a lot of that in this album.
Yeah.
A lot of the tracks have that style. I think that's why I like this album so much. It has that like that established sound that I relate to AKB.
Were you a big fan of Enkyoki Poster?
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah, like that.
That was the two, right? They split up into teams.
Team
Fury
YJ.
Poster and Choose Me. They both have similar styles to Iiwake Maybe.
Yeah.
Right? There's like that guitar.
What team were you? Team YJ or Team PB? Do you remember?
I think I like Enkyori Poster more. They had Ota Aika, right? Is that the one? And
Yep.
Like
Kashiwagi
Yuki was
Takajo Aki's on there. Miyazawa Sai was on there. It's funny because like my Oshiman in AKB is Minagishi Minami, and she was on Team YJ, which you would think like, oh, I would like that. I'd kind of gravitate to that team more, but like, Enkyoki Poster is just like a banger. Like it's just like a really good. That's like top 4, top 3 for me in terms of just for like AKB songs and overall. So
yeah, I just like the guitar.
yeah, the guitar is so good, man. And like the thing about like Enkyoki Poster and like Iiwake Maybe is that they're just good. Like I have like my style of like liking idol music is very generic, like bubblegum, like and high energy upbeat songs. That's just like my preferred music preference when it comes to idol music. So like these kind of songs were just really up my alley when it came to like this album. So like that Enkyoki Poster, like Iiwake Maybe, they were just really good songs that you could like Volta chant to. Like if you ever like went to a concert, or if you ever like watched a live concert, those are just songs that are easy to go over the chants and like easy to have like the crowd to get involved and like shout outs to their favorite like members or just the member shout outs.
I don't know where the mix comes from, but I feel like a lot of AKB songs are structured in such a way to
Like around the mix, right?
like around the mix, like the length of the interlude is as long as the mix.
So those songs that are like structured like that are the ones that I really gravitate towards. Like there's some songs on this album that aren't like that just aren't my speed. Like not my vibe. Like Magiska Rock and Roll, just like it's because it has a guitar, it has like the guitar sound, but it's just not my speed. It's not my tempo because it doesn't really have those interludes and have the ability to like incorporate the mixes. So that's like not. I love the drama, but like that song just wasn't really. It goes against what we're just talking about, like having rock guitar sounding elements. Magiska Rock and Roll just wasn't really, the opposite of that. So that's an interesting part.
Well, for me, I'm the opposite of you. I actually enjoyed Magiska Rock and Roll more than I did Enkyoki Poster. I feel like Enkyoki Poster is like a little more idly. I do like
Nothing
the
wrong with that.
ending little bit with the guitar, and I like the chorus a lot, but then I feel like the rest of it wasn't really my style. But then with Magiska, I feel like I kind of meshed with that one more.
Interesting.
It's cool. They do try out different styles too, which is very apparent in this album. Like River, you got like the stomping, like Sakura no Shiori, the choir, dude.
See, I like listening to choir songs. I like just listening to choir, so it's very relaxing and soothing. So I actually enjoyed that. Some people think it's too slow, but like I actually like Sakura no Shiori.
I like the song by itself, but I feel like in the album, like right after Magiska Rock and Roll, it's kind of like you're full of energy, and then all of a sudden, all right, let's settle down. Like, I understand they probably went for like, oh, here's the opening to Magiska, and here's the ending to Magiska. But I feel like just listening to the album, like just straight down the list, I feel like this one kind of like throws you for a loop.
The flow is kind of iffy towards the end of the album, the latter half, because they end up just throwing all the songs. Right? There's no like flow or anything like that. The top half of the album is like all this hype, like all these songs that the singles that were released, right? So you're very familiar with all the songs, but towards the end, you kind of get B-sides and like the newer tracks, and so it kind of slows down.
To the point, like Iiwake, like when you go from starting with River and then working all the way down to Iiwake Maybe. Like I remember like back when I was listening to the album in my car, once it got after Iiwake Maybe, I'll just go back to the first single and go back to River and just like go back to number because like anything below Iiwake Maybe just wasn't my speed.
I could see that. I could see that.
And after Iiwake Maybe, like from tracks 12 down to 16, like the last track is actually pretty good, which is one of the original songs.
Dude, that's like one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's a really good song.
Yeah, Kimito, Nijito, Tayoto. That's one of the newer songs, but it does have that same driving kind of rock feel. Not as strong in the rock department. There's not like a lot of guitar work compared to the other tracks in the album that have the same sound.
Yeah, again, same theme with that one. It's like you have the ability to incorporate mixes, like older mixes, into that song. So like very engaging with the crowd. Like it's a song that you would like play at the end. I don't know which concert or so many concerts that AKB has done, but like it's a song that you'd like go at the end, throw the towel around, swing the towel around, and just like go around to the crowd and just wave at them. It's like a good cap off song. This is why it makes sense to have it the last song of this album.
It's like a lighter arrangement.
Yeah,
which I actually really like.
Yeah,
there's a lot of good positive idol vibes on that one.
That's what I'm here for, man. That's what I'm here for my idol music. So
yeah, I never heard that song before actually.
Until you listened to this album recently.
Until I listened to this album, and then I was like, oh, this like really has the AKB vibe, like along with like some maybe the first 12 songs, like you mentioned, have a little bit stronger in that sort of field. Yeah, I feel like this really has like a big potential. Like maybe if I listen to it a couple times, I'll like maybe incorporate it with the rest of the songs. But I do really dig it. I especially like the last chorus where like the singing is a little bit different, like the rhythm.
Oh, that's the coda, my guy. I was going to mention that.
I feel like I like that the best of the song.
That's why I like that song so much. To me, it sounds like an extension or like a different version of Kimi no Koto ga Suki Dakara, which is also an album.
Oh, so good. Best Undergirl song, dude.
That is the best Undergirl song.
This song's good.
It's got like the best parts, like how we talk about like the rock style and the guitars. I think it has the best out of any AKB song, even Iiwake Maybe.
No, I agree. It has the best like rock element, electric guitar elements. Is that one?
The guitar solo in this song is great.
I think you could kind of see the guitar incorporation even from the beginning when they did like the left channel, the right channel, the left channel, the right channel.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Oh yeah.
See, I never noticed that until listening to my headphones. Because I'd always listen to it in my car, and you don't really notice that when you're in your car because you have your engine running and like the windows are down, so you don't notice like the left, right. But like having like a decent pair of headphones, I was just like pleasantly surprised when I re-listened to it last week.
Yeah, it's a very strong, like unique intro compared to some of the others with this style, right? Because it's like guitar. Left, right, and then it goes into the song.
Best Undergirl song, 100%.
Definitely one of the best in the album, for sure.
I think that my favorite AKB song of all time is that one.
Damn.
Like literally, this album has like 3 out of my top 5 AKB songs. If like
it does,
like in terms of like my favorite, like Kuroki Poster, like Kimi no Koto ga Suki Dakara, and then Iiwake Maybe are like top 5 for me. All AKB48 singles all time.
Yeah, I like that those tracks, like Iiwake Maybe, Kimi no Koto, and Kyori Poster, Choose Me, and like what is it? Kimi to Nijito. Those are the very like kind of drivey rock styled ones. Mm-hmm. But then you have the singles that are stylistically different, right? Like what is it? Sakura no Shiori that we mentioned earlier, and then we got River.
River had to grow on me. I didn't like River when it first came out. That was like my first song that was ever given to me. So the thing about this, the first song that my first impression of AKB ever was River, and it's like the farthest away from like a typical idol song. That if you're like me growing up, like listening to Hella Project, like you're used to like regular like generic idol sounding songs, bubblegum sounding songs, and like River was giving out. This is not an idol group. What the heck are you talking about? This is like a girls group. This is not an idol group. So like I didn't know nothing but River when I first learned about AKB. But over time, obviously like River grew on me, but not a first good impression for me for getting into AKB. But
yeah, there are still like bubblegum pop stuff. Namida Surprise, very very cute and stuff. It's like baby.
Oogoe Diamond is really another really good song that I like.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so we got singles, coupling tracks, albums. Shonichi,
You have some stage songs on here too.
I totally forgot about, but revisiting the song, it's kind of got the feels, because it's talking about how like the hard work that they put in. Looking forward to the first performance on stage, right? Because AKB has a theater, right? So it was used a lot in like their anime and stuff, right? Like I feel like the song has a lot of sentimental value to the members. Like looking at request hour too, Shonichi always ranked fairly high, right? And so Team B, right? That's like their song, right? It even has that intro when they perform it. All the members stand in a circle and they do their little like huddle before the song starts.
There's that. What's the other stage song?
Hikoki Gumo, I think, is the one that's.
It's a stage Team A fifth stage song.
It's a feels like a more of a closer. When I saw AKB, they closed out with Hikoki Gumo. It's not like it doesn't. It's not as impactful.
The thing that I noticed with like this song was that like it maybe it's just me, but like there's songs that like, oh, that's definitely a theater song. That's definitely that you would like the production, the arrangement just feels like something that you'd want to incorporate to a theater versus just like adding it as a B side or adding it as A side. Like,
Yeah, as someone who didn't really listen to theater songs, I wrote down it sounded more idol sounding but less iconic.
yep, that's exactly what a theater song is to me. It sounds like an idol song, but very not as iconic. It's interesting because like the composer of that song, Narise Hideki, composed Bingo.
Oh, I love Bingo.
Which is interesting. It was one of my. That's an underrated song, like probably the most underrated like AKB single.
It just sounds like the kind of song that's easy for all the members to kind of learn, right? Or anyone really, like the crowd can get into the song too, because it's like, oh, it's the end of the concert and we're just gonna yay kind of thing.
So would you guys say this is like one of the weaker ones that this album has?
It's towards the end, like it's in the second half where it kind of like mentioned earlier, kind of slows down.
Yeah, because for you, Tron, this is like when this song came on, that's when you went back to number one.
It's like after Iiwake Maybe comes on, it ends. This song comes on. Just go back to River and just like go back down the album again. Yeah, because like we talked about before, like the second half of this album just really, except for Kimi to Niji, doesn't really like mesh with me that much in terms of like the vibe and the energy I want from like an idol album. Like Magiska Rock and Roll probably is my like, if you'd say like weakest or most underwhelming song, it's just Magiska Rock and Roll. But it's all subjective and preference. Like that's your favorite song, or like I think, or like you really, not, maybe I don't want to say it's your favorite song, but you really like that song a lot, Josh, right? It's just for me, just
damn,
doesn't do it for me, man.
I just go rock and roll. What?
No.
Oh,
I like the music video when they all get into the gymnasium and start like dancing around. That's cool, man. But like just the song itself.
Oh man, not into the rock and roll, dude. I like it because it
too slow pace for me, man. Too slow pace for me.
It kind of it's a little bit different, right? And like idols in general, I think they have a good like I guess chance to explore as many musical styles, because they're not really defined by anything, right? Especially like a traditional mainstream idol group like AKB, and so they're able to like do a bunch of different styles without like it sounding weird, right? It's like, oh yeah, they're not a group, they do whatever, and so I like the rock and roll. It's got a lot of attitude, like, yeah.
It does, yeah.
I dig it.
Just not my speed.
At the same time, though, when the Tobenai Agehacho is not one of my highlights. I appreciate them like stepping out and trying to do more of like a R&B style pop track, but I don't know. The energy is just not as there, especially because it follows like these hype songs. Like Jun and Sakura.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
Right. Tempo slows out a bit. It reminded me of Speed. Not that it's bad. Speed is really cool. But just wasn't digging it for that kind of style with AKB.
That's like the bottom of my list as well.
Yeah, I can see for this one, like I think I like the chorus of this one, but I feel like overall, like I don't know if it's the drums or something, but I feel like it's just like too much.
It's a very like 90s pop R&B style to me. Not that it's bad, it's just I wasn't feeling it with AKB. You know?
Though I do like the last guitar solo in it though.
I don't think I've ever gone that far. So I feel bad. It's just not my like. I love '90s R&B. Like I love that a lot. But just that song is probably like I actually think I like Magic Rock and Roll more than that song. It's just not the speed and the vibe and like what I want out of idol music. Just that's not what I go for. Is that so? That's just me.
One song that I was whatever on is Jibun Rashisa.
Oh.
This one, again, that's not really my style, like the smooth, cutesy kind of music. So for me, I was like, whatever, but it's nice to listen to, I guess.
It's like a slice of life ending.
Yeah, because that also gave me kind of like a '90s vibe. I don't know. There's something about the arrangement that
it's bright, it's colorful, but it's not. Yeah, I can see that.
And there's another one on here. I want to see what you guys think about this, but for me, it's Choose Me. I feel like for this song, I'd rather listen to the instrumental version. I feel like I really dig the instrumental, but then the vocals, I was like iffy on.
They had a little bit more groove compared to Enkyori Poster, right? Because that's the two teams, right? Choose Me and Enkyori Poster were the ones. But yeah. I appreciate that for the groove. But I do like Enkyori Poster more since those two songs were the two teams.
Yeah, the songs are tied together, and like Enquiry Poster is just like way above a better song. Like I like Choose Me, but like that song when you tie those two songs together because of the Team YJ versus Team PB, Enquiry Poster just is like eons better in my opinion. So
let me talk about all of them then. Namida Surprise. I guess we didn't touch on Namida Surprise that much.
Namida Surprise is just good. I don't know.
That's a good. That's why I think it's a good song.
It's like a solid song.
I think with this one, like, I don't remember anything except for the happy birthday part, but then I listen to it, I'm like, oh yes, I remember this feeling now. But like when you try to remember the song for me, at least for me, like I remember the happy birthday.
To me, it's all about the bass in Namida Surprise. The bass kind of pops off. So, all right. So, about some final thoughts about Kamikyokutachi.
I think this is like a classic AKB sound. Like if you want to hand someone like a CD, for example, like they did with Tron, I feel like this is a good one to hand out if you want to hear some old classics and not be overwhelmed with like the 10th year anniversary CD or anything. I feel like this is definitely a good one, definitely a staple, not only in AKB but in all of Japanese idol history.
Yeah, I mean, this is like I mentioned before, this is like the bridge. This is like the olive branch that was given to me to get into AKB. So it has like a little sentimental value for me. Like this like that time of the year with NSK and like meeting David and getting to AKB and meeting like where everything is now Slope Club. Like all that stuff came from literally this album in a sense, because like that's where that was the first time I met my co-founders from NSK, David Lau and Dae Lee, and kind of like built NSK to meet Boy and then meet David Chang and all this other stuff.
It's more than the music has Tron, dude.
It's more than the music for me. But in terms of the music itself, though, like it has some of the best iconic songs that you can think of for AKB. Like I said, like top 3 out of these songs are in my top 5 of AKB songs of all time for me. So like just has to be ranked pretty highly for me for this album.
Yeah. This album defined the AKB sound. Not that they have one, but like to me, the sound that AKB makes, it's everything from this album. Even though there are songs that AKB released after this album which that I like more. This is probably my favorite album AKB has made. This is only like their second one, right? They released one album prior to this, but yeah, this one, I don't think they've topped this one. Even with the great singles that they released after. To me, this is
the collection of songs under this album.
This is like the AKB music right here for me. So
right,
let's give this a rating, boys, out of 10.
Ooh,
Kamikyokutachi, what's it gonna get?
I think this is like probably like a 9 out of 10.
Ooh.
There you go.
Just thanks to the little bit weaker songs that I found, and plus I don't have the nostalgia. I feel like a 9 is a pretty good score for it.
That's really high considering.
Yeah.
Like
Considering all the weak points, I feel like the
yeah.
strong songs are so strong that they push it up to a 9.
Interesting, yeah. Like for me, it's like a 9. If I could give a 9.5, I
Oh
would.
man, it's out of 10.
But like, it's a 9.
What the heck?
That's why I said
I was
if I
gonna give it
could.
an 8.5, but that's why I said 9.
Say that
Yeah,
at 20.
we're only
dude.
allowed whole numbers. No, this is a 9 for me. Like I mean, like it's pretty much like we talked about before. When you have like 3 of the songs in the album are in the top 5 of all time for the artist, you have to have the album pretty high, right? So for me, 9 out of 10 is probably where I'd put this
Starting
album
strong. For me, 8. I'm gonna give this an 8 out of 10. There's a lot of classic AKB songs, some bangers up in there, but there are parts in the album where I'm just like I kind of want to skip, some of the flow in the album gets kind of towards the middle and the end, but
ends strong though. The album ends strong.
it does end strong. But yeah, that's why. And also, like, there's only 2 new songs. I don't know about that. I guess it's an issue with AKB in general, right? Like, they just throw on everything in an album. A sides, coupling tracks, even some theater songs, which shouldn't be, in my opinion. But yeah.
Lock it in. Lock it in.
Good job, AKB. You're approved by the 3 of us over here at Slope Club.
Just make more of these. Make more of these. More guitar, more solos in there, more classic sounding. Give time for
I
chance.
would like to see them return to this type of sound. They've been doing a lot of disco lately, and it's like, it's all right. It's not no Kamikyokutachi,
So that does it for this video. Let us know what you guys thought about the album down below in the comments. Again, give it out of 10. We don't want any 0.5, 0.1s, 0.724. Just whole numbers in here. And leave a description of why. We'll be able to read it, and you'll be able to read everyone else's thoughts. Like, I can be convinced that maybe it's an 8, but right now it's a 9. And that's the official score for me. But if you want to see more videos, go ahead and subscribe, and you can follow each of us on Twitter and the respective social medias, and follow Slope Club to stay updated with all future videos. Thank you all for watching.